bangs are in my eye. You can tell I didn't do my eyebrows. I hope my bangs are covering it enough. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, my name is Drew and this is my channel where I make videos dedicated to improving my mental health through challenges, trying new things, as well as hopefully helping you guys by sharing tips that I find have helped me with things such as focusing as well as dealing with my anxiety. This thing is too hot on my behind. I have a heating pad on because I'm dealing with some sciatic pain right now. So today, as you could tell by the title of this video, we're going to be talking about 5 mindset habits that can change your life like they've changed mine. So let's get into it. I just want to let you guys know that any of the articles that I am referencing during the entirety of this video will be found in the description box below, and I highly encourage you guys to look through those as well as do your own research. And if you are feeling like you need more encouragement to start incorporating any of these habits into your life, read as much as you can about the benefits of all of the things I will be mentioning today as a form of extra motivation. If you have seen any of my previous YouTube videos, you would know that I talk about gratitude a lot. I have been writing daily gratitude since the beginning of July with almost 100% consistency. I actually recently made a video about my experience with writing 100 days of daily gratitude, so if you're interested in that, that will be linked up here for you. I need water. Gratitude has so many benefits, which is why it is so often recommended by mental health experts as well as backed by science. So according to Psychology Today, which is actually the website that I use to find my current therapist, gratitude is an emotion that makes people feel happier. It is also a temporary feeling as well as a dispositional trait, which basically means that it can be temporary or you can have the tendency to respond to situations in a stable and calm way, which can come easier for some people. Gratitude can be found to boost happiness and actually have both physical and psychological effects, including those like myself who struggle with mental health issues. Studies have shown that gratitude can help to deter the expression of negative emotions such as resentment and envy. And as someone who struggles with self-depression a lot, I tend to envy those who are on the same path as me but much further along. And there are obviously so many more benefits than what I'm able to fit into this video today. So the next mindset habit is self-care, specifically guilt-free self-care. My channel is a self-care safe zone and will always be, but sometimes I still do feel some guilt for taking that time for myself. Whether it's because I think to myself that I could be doing something more productive with my time, or other people may not have this luxury, so why should I be able to do it? There are definitely other forms of self-care guilt, but I mean, we shouldn't even feel guilty for taking care of ourselves in the first place. Self-care is about your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. There is nothing, I repeat, nothing selfish about that. But self-care is gonna look different for everyone. Reading may be blissful to one person, but sound like torture to another. And if you're having trouble of thinking of self-care ideas, head on over to Google, type in self-care chart or self-care wheel, which this wheel is actually something my therapist introduced me to, and you can get some inspiration from there. There's even this handy dandy little chart that you can even fill in with your own ideas of what you love to do for self-care and put it in a spot where you can quickly reference it. Self-care is so important yet so underused because of guilt, even though it can, according to this article, help with productivity because it can bring us back into the present moment by simply taking some deep breaths, journaling, or even meditating. It can also help to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. When you get some rest, be mindful in some way, or even take a nice hot bath. The parasympathetic nervous system can help to put your body in rest and restore mode, which can help you to relax after maybe a hectic day or a stressful time. Another benefit to self-care is self-compassion. We tend to be more understanding about ourselves when we need it instead of spiraling into self-criticism. So if you, like many others, suffer from self-care guilt, do your best to keep in mind how important self-care truly is and allow yourself to alleviate that feeling of guilt. And treat your body and mind to acts of self-care. I promise you deserve it. My third habit I actually mentioned in my previous habit, but if you didn't catch it, it's journaling. If I'm being honest, this one is fairly new to me. A couple of videos ago, I embarked on a challenge to live like a CEO for a week, and not surprisingly, CEOs often journal, so that meant that I too was journaling. So the article that I'm referencing for this habit has 83 benefits. 83. If that alone doesn't convince you, hopefully me going over just a few of those benefits will. First of all, the scientific evidence done on journaling shows a ton of evidence in its effectiveness in aiding people to determine and accept emotions, managing stress, and relieve symptoms of mental illness. It's even shown to have some positive physical impacts as well. Journaling can help in the management of depression. It's extremely beneficial for those like me who suffer from anxiety and stress, and can even help you find healing in the aftermath of traumatic events. So as someone who literally deals with everything I have just mentioned, and even though I haven't been journaling for that long, I can already see how helpful journaling can be. Whenever I'm dealing with something stressful like a big decision or just dealing with general anxiety, I find myself wanting to journal about it to aid in the decision making or just to help clear my mind. Now, if none of the benefits that I have mentioned resonate with you at all, please be sure to check the article out because there are like 80 other benefits, and I can guarantee at least one of those 80 benefits can resonate with you. Now, I think you may be able to guess what this next one is because next to gratitudes, this may be one of the most common mindset habits / mindful practices that you hear about. Quickly pause the video and put in the comments what you think number 4 is. And the answer is meditation. And coincidentally, this habit, as well as the first and the third, can all be considered acts of self-care, which feels like a bit of a full circle moment here. Now, if you're new to my channel, you may not know that I have put myself up to a couple of meditation challenges due to the inconsistency of my attempt at daily practice. And not only do I still struggle with consistency, I still can barely quiet my mind during my practice, which, according to the poll in this article that I will be referencing, this is a very common issue, along with lack of having time. I'm sure I'm not the first, nor will I be the last to tell you that meditation can be challenging, especially at first. You're not going to be super great at it at first, but don't let that stop you. Similar to pull-ups or chin-ups, you need to strengthen your muscles before you get better. And sometimes you need a little bit of help, but eventually you will start to improve. I am by no means an expert in meditation nor any of the other habits that I'm mentioning in this video. But based on the research that I have done and the stories that I have heard, everyone struggles at first. Now, time for the science-backed benefits of meditation, according to experts. And as usual, I will only be naming a few. So the first one is that meditation improves your mental health. It has the ability to, and I quote, exacerbate several serious conditions including heart disease, obesity, and even anxiety disorders. Long-term meditation can help significantly reduce your risk of depression or help you in treating it if you already struggle with it. It can help to restrict the release of mood-altering cytokines. I might be pronouncing that word wrong, but it's fine. Which are an inflammatory chemical that can eventually lead in the development of depression. And speaking of inflammation, meditation can also reduce inflammation, which is known to cause chronic diseases like cancer, diabetes, IBS, and even Alzheimer's. The last benefit that I'm going to mention is something that I actually deal with all the time. But hopefully with continuous practice, I will be able to handle it better than before. And that is pain. I mentioned in my last video that I have dealt with pain that goes from my hips to my feet since I can remember. I have begun different challenges to try and alleviate as much of that pain as possible. So if mindfulness training can help me to make dealing with my pain even 5% easier, I will take it. And luckily there was a small study done that looked into how meditation may help people do that. All right, last but definitely not least, since I've noticed that this has gained major popularity over the last few years, and becoming aware of it may help to change how you think about yourself. This habit is awareness of negative thoughts and self-talk. I can definitely understand the use of something like self-deprecating humor. I personally never got into it, but saw most people tend to use it as a coping mechanism for whatever reason they have. And along with other forms of negative self-talk, such as internalizing the negative ideologies that people give you throughout your life, or even self-doubt, sometimes they're harmless, but more often than not, they're definitely harmful. But I don't want to end this list on a sad or depressing note, so instead, I'm going to talk about the benefits of positive thoughts and self-talk. I do want to mention that ways of making yourself more aware of what you would perceive as negative self-talk is to ask yourself, would I ever say this to someone that I love? Or would I say this to a loved one in a serious or even joking manner? Now the benefits, and like each habit that I have already discussed in this video, positive self-talk can improve your mental health. It can help you to see yourself in a more positive way, which can also help to improve your confidence. And when your confidence is higher, you doubt yourself less and are more likely to try and reach your goals. So those are the 5 mindset habits that can change your life. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and maybe even learned a little something. And if you did, please be sure to hit that thumbs up button because it really does support my channel, as well as hit the subscribe button and notification bell to be notified about future videos that I will be making. And as always, be sure to follow me on all of my social media. They're always the pinned comment in the comments, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. It looks like this basket's on my head, doesn't it? My channel is a self-care and... I'm sweating. We tend to be more understanding towards ourselves when we need it instead of spiraling into self-constraint. Hey Google, what's a synonym for embarked?
Here are some synonyms for embark: boardship, go on board, go aboard, climb aboard, step aboard.
Okay, that's useless. Meditation may help people that I have dealt with. Hit that like button because it really does support my channel. I just did a weird twitching thing.